So today we're going to be talking about how to measure your angles. And in order to do that, we're going to be talking about a special tool called the Protractor. Using this tool is going to be exactly what we need to measure our angles. Now, here's my very own protractor, and I hope you have yours as well. But yours may look a little different from mine, and that's okay. Protractors come in a lot of different forms, but we use them all the same exact way. In fact, here are some examples of protractors. Notice the protractor on the left looks very different from the protractor on the right. But like I just said, we're going to use them in the same exact way. The main difference is where we're placing our angle in order to measure it. Where you're placing your angle on your protractor is going to change depending on how your protractor looks. And that's all going to be determined by where your angle measurements start on the protractor. Now, if your protractor looks like the one on the right, you have a lot of numbers here. You have a ruler and you have this other thing on the top, that your half circle. You're going to ignore the ruler part on the bottom. That's not important when you're measuring your angles. You're just concerned with your half circle on the top. If your protractor looks like the one on the left, well, all those numbers are going to be important. So those are going to be what we call our angle measurements. And since we're measuring our angles in degrees, they're going to be the degrees of your angles. So if we look over at our protractor on the left, you see that your angle measurements, your degrees, start right about here, just a little bit above the bottom of your protractor. Whereas if you look at your protractor on the right, your angle measurements start right about here, which is going to be a bit further from the bottom. We have a whole ruler in between the bottom of our protractor and our angle measurement. So if we were to put our angle in the same exact place on both of these protractors, it wouldn't give us the same answer. And that's because placement matters on your protractor. Placement matters on your protractor. So let's say we had an angle like this, in which we're trying to measure it on both of these protractors. The first thing we want to do is make sure our bottom ray at the bottom that's completely straight across, whatever your bottom is, we want to make sure it's straight across. We want to make sure that bottom ray lines up with where our angle measurements start on our protractor. Not above it, not below it. Our bottom ray should line up exactly with where our angle measurements start on our protractor. The next thing we want to do is make sure that the vertex of our angle here is exactly in the middle of our protractor. Now the vertex is going to be where your two rays touch for your angle. So that vertex has to be right there in the middle of your protractor. So if you were doing both of those things and your protractor looks like the one on the left, your angle should look like this on your protractor. Notice your vertex is right there in the middle and your bottom ray is lined up where your angle measurement starts. Now, if your protractor looks like the one on the right, then your angle should look like this on it. Notice the center is pretty much lined up with that 5. And once again, your bottom ray is lined up exactly with where your angle measurements start. And when you do that on both of these, it looks like the measurement is roughly the same. We want to make sure that no matter what protractor we're using, we're getting the same angle measurement for the same angle. And this is all going to come down to making sure that we're placing our angle in the right spot on our protractor. So before we jump into how to read the numbers on our protractor, let's take a closer look as to why placement is so important when you're trying to find the angle measurements of your angle using your protractor. Let's say we have our angle that we just talked about and our protractor looks like this. We said that we want to line this up where our bottom ray is lined up with where our angle starts, our angle measurements start on our protractor. And we want to center our vertex over 5. Now, this is important for a very important reason. When we do that, the line that we are overlapping, the line that we're covering, the line that we're touching is going to be parallel with our top ray. That line is going to be parallel with our top ray. And that tells us that that is the angle measurement for our angle. But if we were to move our angle somewhere else on this protractor, the number wouldn't make sense. And that's because the line that we're touching won't be parallel with our top ray. So let's say we did line it up and we had it starting with our angle measurements, but we shifted it over. Notice all of the numbers that we're touching, whether it be this potentially 60 here, the 130 or whatever else is in here, none of these lines, whether it be the small lines or the big ones here, are parallel with our top ray. We can't get a good read on this angle. Let's say we shift it over here. Same thing. Now we're pretty much directly over this 20, but it's not parallel. We are not able to get a good reading on this either. None of these lines are parallel with our top ray. Same thing happens if we shift it up and down. If we shift it up and shift it down, we're also going to find that the lines that we're touching are not parallel. So in order to make sure that the line we're touching is exactly parallel with our top ray, we center our vertex. We center our vertex, the middle of our protractor. We're starting where our angle measurements start. And notice whatever line we're touching, whether it be 40 or 140, it's going to be parallel with our top ray. This is why your placement is so very important. Make sure you're lining it up properly, because even if you have all the tools, if you line it up poorly, you're going to get the wrong answer most of the time. So now that we've covered why placement is so important, let's jump into how to actually read this protractor. So now we're going to jump into reading our protractors, and I'm going to be using my very own protractor here, but I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, but try to follow along at home with your own protractors. Now we've already determined that there are a lot of numbers on these protractors, and if yours look anything like mine, you may have this ruler here, which we already said you can ignore. That's not important, so don't focus on the ruler part on the bottom. We're only concerned with the numbers on the top, but there's two sets of those, right? If you're looking at your protractor, on the left, you'll notice that the outside numbers are going to go from 0, if we go all the way to the right, it's going to hit 180, where the inside numbers, if we're starting back on the left, goes from 180, going all the way to the right, down to 0. So which numbers do we use, the inside or the outside? Well, that's going to depend on how your angle looks. So let's start with number 1 and see what we get. So let's say we have this. I'm going to line it up like we just talked about. We're going to make sure our vertex is in the center. We are starting where our angle measurements start. And when we do that, we're going to get something like this here. And if we're looking at where our angle hits our protractor, you're going to get two numbers. You're going to have 50 degrees and 130 degrees. How do we know which one to use? Well, you can do one of two things. You can use what you know about your angle. So for example, what type of angle is this? Is it an acute angle? Is it a right angle? An obtuse angle? Is it a straight angle? What type of angle is this? Well, this one is going to be an acute angle. It's a small angle. And acute tells us it's going to be less than 90 degrees. So which one of these is less than 90 degrees? Our 50. So our angle measurement for this angle should be 50 degrees. However, we shouldn't have to do all that. Our protractor should tell us exactly what we want. We shouldn't necessarily have to rely on understanding what type of angle this is. And that's perfectly fine. It does just that. The second way we can go about reading this is to realize where our angle begins. Our angle begins here, right? We're saying that it starts here. We want to count up from 0. So we start here, but we're counting up from 0. If we were to count on the outside, are we going up from 0? It starts at 180 on the outside. So are we going up? No. we're technically going down because 180, next one is 170, next one is 160. So traveling along the outside, we're actually decreasing. We don't want that. We want to start from 0 and go up. So we have to use our inside numbers to do just that. So notice our arrow, where our arrow is, tells you where our number should be starting from, right? So when we're from the right, if our arrow points to the right, we have to start on the inside. That's the only way we're going to get the inside numbers of 50, right? Starting at 0 all the way up to 50, that's the only way if our arrow is pointing to the right. If our arrow is pointing to the left, so we're going to set it up same exact way. We have something like this. Our arrow is pointing to the left. Now, notice if we're trying to count up from 0, we can't use the inside number. It's no longer at 0. It's at 180. And if we were to go up, we're technically going down. 170, 160, 150, we don't want that. We want to count up from 0. So we have to count the outside numbers. So that's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So this angle measurement is 60. So you see, reading your protractor is pretty simple once you know where your placement is. Remember, that's key. You have to know where you're placing your angle on your protractor. But once you have that, it's simply figuring out whether it's the outside or the inside number. If you're pointing to the right, you're going to be using the inside number. So the right, inside, the left, outside. And that's because you want to always count up from 0. You can only count up from 0 if you're, once again, following your arrow. Your arrow says on the left, your 0 is on the outside. On the right, your 0s are going to be on the inside. And that's how you get 50 degrees for the top and 60 degrees for the bottom. But both of these are acute angles. What if you have something like number 3, which is clearly what? An obtuse angle. What are we going to do for that one? Now, we don't really need to worry about how to measure your right angles or your straight angles because we know what those measurements are. Your right is always going to be what? 90 degrees. And your straight is always going to be what? 180 degrees. Not all that exciting. Don't really need a protractor for that. But your acutes and your obtuses, you do need a protractor for. You're going to do it the same exact way. Line it up the same exact way you did your acutes. See, my angle measurements start here. We're centered, or trying to be centered. All right? We're trying to be centered here. Now, what are we going to do? Are we starting from the left or the right? Well, our angle's arrow is on the right. We're counting the inside or outside numbers. The inside numbers, right? So because we're pointing to the right, we're using our inside numbers. So that's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. This is 140 degrees. And this is going to be how you're going to read your protractor. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today. And if you did, be sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. See you again next week.